baby. Hey guys, this is Megan from You Go To Be Kidding. Today I am out here with the chickens and in the garden. And this week we're just kind of checking in on everybody on the farm. We don't have anything big going on, but just lots of little things to maintain. So this morning is caused by some frustration. I love chickens and I hate chickens. So this morning they got out again. Our gate latch is pretty sketchy and they almost destroyed my garden. So we're gonna try to fix that today. So our current gate latch is just this bungee cord. The girls have to loop it through the gate and around. And it's not necessarily the easiest thing as the bungee cord stretches out. We have to change its size. And it still moves some. So if they don't get it tight enough, the chickens can squeeze their way out. So I'm gonna try to fix that today. I'm just gonna jimmy rig something. I'm gonna make it work. So I'll show you that as I try to figure out what I can make happen. But I'll show you what happened in the garden and why I'm pretty angry at this motley crew today. They're just chickens, but goodness, they can wreak havoc in just a few minutes. So this morning when we came out, the chickens were out here in the garden and it's hard to see, but I planted cucumbers all under here and the chickens came in and tore out probably half of them. So the kids and I replanted them. We're praying that they'll be okay. Usually they are okay, but it's a pain. And then some of these peppers as well just look really sad and droopy because they got uprooted and messed with. So I put these cages around them the kids and I helped replant them. We put the mulch back where it belongs. And then I put some of these tomato cages around them. And I think I'm going to do that for most of my peppers. One, as the plants get bigger and they start to fall over, the cage will help stop that. But two, it should keep the chickens out because my tomatoes are over here. And the chickens messed with the area behind my tomatoes, but they did not get in the tomato cages. So all my tomatoes are fine, which they're the best ones anyway. So it'll be all right, but man, chickens can cause so much damage in just a really short amount of time. So they mess with my onions too. There's some onion damage down here on these ones, but it'll be all right. Alrighty, so last I filmed, Caleb and I were working on the garden chickens. We were trying to fix their gate. We realized that the gap between the gate and the post was way too far away to make a latch work. So we abandoned ship and we just used a chain instead of the bungee cord and did that. And then the next morning we woke up to 2 dead hens in our meat box. We just had one hooked up and ready. We got the meat birds out on pasture. But unfortunately there were too many in a box, and I think at night when they were all sleeping together, I think they crushed the laying hen. There's a couple laying hens in there and they were too small. So I'll kind of go show you what we have and what happened. And then my dad came over and helped me fix our problem today. So I'll show you what we did and give you an update on our meat birds. So this is my John Siskovich tractor. It's all finished. It has been working awesome. These are our laying hens that we have, well, our hatched chicks. They're really pretty. The barred rocks even have puffy cheeks, which is very cute. Oh, it's focusing on the fence. But a bunch of these are roosters, but they're in here, they're happy. We're able to move them around. This tractor is working really well for us. And then we have these two, but we had only set up this one up here. This is our original tractor. And I had recently pulled it out and put the hardware cloth all around it. You can see our very ugly teenager stage meat birds in here. But we have their water all hooked up and there are a bunch of guys in here. So we ordered 64 meat birds. We definitely lost a few. And the problem we ran into is they would all go huddle in these corners and they were crushing the little laying hens that were in here with them. So these guys are fine. I don't think they're going to hurt each other. They've got plenty of shade and they've got water and food. But we pulled out the laying hens. So as they get bigger, we will separate them out into the two groups. But for now, they're good to go. But you can see there's quite a few birds in here, and for some reason they all like to clump together in the corners. So, all right, this is our other tractor, and this one just needed to be maintenance. We had gaps in the hardware cloth, and you can see Jimmy rigged what was left of some chicken wire. I didn't have any extra hardware cloth for this tiny gap. We needed to remake the lids. They just had gotten broken with use from last season, and we hadn't gotten it done. So this morning my dad came over, or this afternoon, my dad came over and helped me fix this. Trying to open it up for you and show you the hens inside. We added some bracing. This door, when you lift it up, it kept falling inside, so we put this corner brace right there. But here are our little guys. We put the 2 turkeys. They've been doing really well. We've heard that they can be hard to keep alive, but they've done great, and they're bigger, so it makes sense that they were able to manage the meat chickens. But then the little laying hens, they are Buff Orpingtons. They're really cute, but these little guys are just so much smaller than the meat birds. They're the same age, they came on the same day, but they're so much smaller, and so they were getting crushed. So hopefully now they will obviously do much better. And these waters are amazing. You just hook them up to a 5-gallon bucket and they refill themselves. We do need one of the little chicks is on top of the turkey. How funny. But these guys are much happier. So as those meat birds get bigger, we'll probably get these laying hens out, and then we'll separate those meat birds into 2 groups so they aren't crowded either. The River's down here by the barn. She's being a good girl. We did have an issue with her with a chicken, and so we're trying to get her more exposure to the chickens, but obviously not unsupervised, and it's just so hard. She is excellent. She's perfect when we are out here with her and she's got that collar on. It's just if the birds wander into her area, then while we're not out here, you know, we can't stop her. So I think it'll come with age, but we're just kind of waiting for that. And here are all our goats. They're doing really well. Hello, Miss Tansy. This is Aspen and Sam, 2 of Tansy's. We really need to get her boys sold, but nobody has shown any interest. So, yeah, we might have to consider other options for them. We have our 2 little guineas that get to roam around this pasture. They're starting to make some really loud noises. They're a lot of fun. Hey, goats. Come on, goats. We have Cedar. I have a feeling her baby is sleeping somewhere. And Ivy and her daughter Maple. So we're keeping Maple, which is this one, out of Ivy. We're keeping Aspen out of Tansy. And we're gonna keep Cedar's little one as well. I don't see her, Cedar. Where's your baby? Oak and Frodo are way out there. Where is she, Cedar? Hello, Ivy. They're so friendly. They've been such good milkers. I have been milking Cedar this week for the first time ever, and she has done a good job. She does a little dance, but she has been letting me milk her without much trouble at all. Oh, goodness. I was just legitimately scared. All the goats came over, except this little one. She's sleeping on the rocks. And Cedar wasn't over here, and she wasn't coming. Little girl. Just sleeping. You found a nice spot over here. Hi, baby. Is that your mama? Oh. She's the quietest little baby. She's never made a sound much louder than just this little tiny little bleat. Hi, Oak. You are supposed to be a goat, not a person. All right, well, we just kind of had a bunch of random things going on this week, dealing mostly with chickens, but we've got the sheep. They are back up front, so they have gone all the way through our back pasture. They have gotten to go in some places that they couldn't have gone before because of the land being cleared, and now they're back up front. So it's exciting to have them up here. It's always fun when they're closer by. Makes chores a little easier. And let's see, what else do we have? Oh, the only other thing going on today is that we are officially out of chicken food. We are headed to the store tomorrow to get more. We buy our chicken feed from a somewhat local farm that raises all their own grains and mills them right on site. And so Damien's gonna run out there and pick up our feed tomorrow. But we are getting creative with chicken food in the meantime. And so we went through all the milk in the fridge. We took any of the milks that were about to turn and we put them in a 5-gallon bucket and are soaking the tiny bit of chicken feed we have left. And we're getting that all set up so that way everybody can have some tomorrow. And soaking their feed will make it expand and have it be a little bit more volume. Adding the milk will add protein so we can give them a little bit less per group of chickens. And fermenting it a little bit. I know technically it would be better to let it go a couple days, but it's just for tomorrow. And so fermenting it gives it a little bit more nutrition as well. But you do what you can. So we have lots of food scraps from dinner tonight, lots of milk left over, and the chickens will be all right. But they're gonna get a little creative on food tomorrow. Look at these happy sheep. So the lambs are getting pretty big. We still have them in here with their mamas. They are definitely still, I saw one of them try to nurse. I wonder if the mamas have quit letting them yet. But all the sheep are shedding out. Lambert back there is the spotted one. He is actually starting to really fill out and starting to look a lot better than he used to. He does still have his limp, and so at this point we have figured that I think his limp is just from when his brother had a selenium deficiency and ended up paralyzed. I think he just had the same deficiency and now he's just, that leg just limps. So I don't think there's anything wrong with him at the moment. He's just gonna be a little slow getting around. But it's probably about time that we get the ram lambs separated at least. I'm not sure, we haven't decided what to do with them. They're getting big. So always a list of things to take care of and to be managing, things to be thinking about and remembering, and we're trying our best. So something I just noticed while I'm out here, the sheep are up here, the section they're in has some pretty tall grass, and the grass up in this front pasture really is pretty good. There's not too much Bermuda. There's some, but not a ton. And it looks really good. It looks really nice. But I was just panning over here. This is the next pasture they'll be in. And you can tell by all the white flowers you see, but this is almost all clover. And this is really tall. This is probably calf height on me. And this is where we've run the chickens the most. So this section, we put the chickens here before we moved them into the garden. We put the laying hens here and they ate it all. And then we have run the meat chickens here a bunch last season. And this section of ground looks really cool. It looks really good. It has all this clover. It still has some weeds in here too. But I'm excited to see the changes. Our pastures are looking better and better each year, and it's really awesome. I thought this was just gonna be an animal update, but I came out to my garden and there are flowers on the tomatoes. So exciting. This is actually a volunteer tomato that came up on its own, and it has some flowers. Ooh, they're down here. And we have some carrots that are going to seed, and we're actually gonna leave them. We're gonna let them go to seed. This thing here, we'll let these go to seed, and then hopefully it will seed this area for the fall. So that there, it is so cool coming out. Have you ever seen those pods unfurl? There's this little guy here, and it unfurls into this crazy looking top. So cool. And it's probably about time to harvest some of our potatoes because they're getting pretty big too.